San Francisco crime wave reaches Pelosi household. And we all know that it's the left, the Democratic left, is the reason why the crime is so high. They're catch and release, letting all these criminals out on the street when they should be locked up, and now it's finally reached Pelosi's house. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Instagram where I put out tons of news throughout the day to keep you informed. So check that out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked earlier Friday morning at the couple's San Francisco home, bringing a growing crime wave to the doorstep of one of the nation's top Democratic lawmakers. Now, thank goodness he wasn't. It could have been a lot worse than what happened. You know, these people don't believe in gun rights, so I'm sure they don't own any guns, so he don't have any way to defend himself if stuff really would have went down. And this is why I try to say that criminals don't care anything about the law. So they're going to have guns, they're going to have weapons, and you're going to be left not to protect yourself when they break up in your house because of leftists like Nancy Pelosi who shun people who want to defend themselves and defend them families. I'm not saying that this is what she get. Again, thank goodness that no one was hurt really, but hopefully this will wake Nancy up to her gun grabs and things of that nature. Well, quote, earlier this morning, an assailant broke into the Pelosi's residence in San Francisco and violently assaulted Mr. Pelosi, the speaker's office said in a statement. Paul Pelosi was taken to the hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. Thank goodness that he'll make a full recovery. But again, it could have been a lot worse, and they have no way of defending themselves because of their stupid ideology. Police only show up after stuff happened. So what would have happened if the guy, the assailant, would have had a gun and wanted to kill him or her if she was home? They wouldn't have been able to defend themselves. You know, it was just a story the other day that I read that someone bust up in this lady house and she was in the bedroom and closed the door, and the person tried to bust in the door, and she pulled out her weapon and defended herself and shot the guy through the door. He ran off, and the police found him later bleeding. And it could have been a lot worse for this lady. Thank goodness she has the consciousness and the wherewithal to own a weapon and to defend herself and her family. Is not the case for the Pelosi's. And again, thank goodness it could have ended up a lot worse for Mr. Pelosi. You know, I don't wish harm on anyone. The assailant, 42-year-old David DePape, or however you pronounce his name, is in custody and has been charged with attempted homicide. Wow, so he did try to kill this man. Wow, I mean, and Pelosi, who's older guy, have no way of defending himself. He just had to take the beating. This is crazy. DePapes, I'm going to call him DePapes, not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but DePapes' motive remains unclear. The New York Times reported on Friday morning that the hammer-wielding attacker came into the home screaming, "Where's Nancy?" He had a hammer, so he was looking for her. In search of the Democratic politician, according to a law enforcement source. Nancy Pelosi was not home at the time. Thank goodness. Man. The speaker and her family are grateful to the first responders and medical professionals involved, the statement said, adding that the family requests privacy. The attack comes as both violent property crimes have spiked in San Francisco in recent years. Again, this is because of Pelosi and her ilk. A 2021 analysis ranked the city as more dangerous than 98% of American cities. Wow. With residents facing a 1 in 16 chance of being victims of property or violent crime each year. Just think about that. Just because you live in San Francisco, you have a 1 in 16 chance of your property being broken into, and violent crime is, oh my, and this is by design. And now the chickens are coming home to roost, and they're actually, the people that live on the hill are actually feeling some of the pain that normal Americans are feeling. Even with increasing crimes across Democrat-run cities, Nancy Pelosi said this week that she, quote, cannot believe Americans will vote for Republicans. Are you serious? I'm sure your husband will vote for Republicans after this happened, because you sure don't care about his life, because you have no way, you don't allow him to defend himself. But in August, a court ordered Paul Pelosi to serve 3 years probation for a May DUI incident. I mean, again, I don't wish any harm on any of these people. Yes, they're evil, but I'll let God deal with them. I don't think anyone have a right to bust up in someone else's house and violently beat the crap out of someone. Again, thank goodness Nancy Pelosi wasn't there, because this guy definitely had intent to do harm. Of course, and he probably would have did something to Nancy Pelosi, and this is just what the left need, is a martyr, because of the shellacking that's about to happen in the midterms in a couple weeks. Again, thank goodness that that he'll recover, and thank goodness that Nancy wasn't there. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out themarketpublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.